I could put that background up.
Esther, you have quorum.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate your patience. We are coming into our public meeting now. Keisha will be putting up our flag, and Mrs. Morrell will lead us in the pledge.
I'm ready. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on May 1st, 2020, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media outlet newspaper, The Record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines meeting as any gathering, whether corporeal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cho, Ms. Colbath. You'll need to unmute yourself. Ms. Colbath.
I just unmuted myself here.
Mr. DeMeglio.
Here.
Ms. Morrell.
Here.
Ms. Richter.
Here.
Ms. Ramba.
Here.
Mr. Rubino.
Here.
Ms. Tuck.
Here.
Ms. Han Silver.
Here.
You have quorum.
The board convened executive session at 6:45 today to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. Mr. Rhoda, will you begin by sharing the superintendent's report?
Thank you, Ms. Silver. I have no HIV report. There were no investigations within the last time frame from the last meeting. The same with the drill report was discussed with the board earlier. I do want to mention one thing before we get into the budget and throw that up, is that this morning our brand new online student registration portal went live, and that will allow not only kindergarten registration, but also all new entrants into the district to use an online system to register their students in the district. So I want to thank Mr. Ruggiero and Ms. Taylor and Ms. Alfaro and Ms. Rate for making that really happen. There's a lot of people had hands in it, but they drove this project, and now we have an online system for people to register, which should be much more efficient and effective moving forward. So thanks for your efforts. That's really all I have, other than the discussion of the budget, the formal budget. Any questions? Or Ms. Taylor, are we waiting for a formal opening of that?
Yes, I think Ms. Han Silver will open the hearing for the final adoption of the budget.
Okay. Yes.
All I will say then, Ms. Han Silver, is that our online education program is still moving forward. Teachers are expanding their skills, learning more students involved in a wider range of activities as we go forward. I would encourage parents who have questions or issues with any types of things to contact the teachers and the building principals, to discuss those questions with them if they're not sure about how things should progress. Other than that, we seem to be just rolling along.
Okay, great.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Kudos to the team who put together the online registration portal in quick time. I know it's something we've been talking about for a while, and I think because of the pandemic, it was something that had to be expedited and done at warp speed out of necessity. So kudos to you, Jason, I see you right there, and to everyone else who was involved. Thank you, for getting this done so that our families can register their students safely. And in terms of the online learning, I just want to remind all the parents and everyone who's joining us, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. So please, feel free to contact your children's teachers. Also commend them because they've been working hard. It has, it's been an adjustment for your children to adjust to this, but it's also been an adjustment for the teachers. It's a whole new world. They've had to adjust to this as well, and to balance their lives and their, whatever they have going on at home, just as much as we've had to adjust to working from home as well. So, hey, send them a quick note to say thank you to them as well and acknowledge, what they've been doing also. So thank you, Mr. Rhoda. Moving on, the preliminary 2020-2021 budget was approved by the Board of Education at the March 9th board meeting and subsequently approved by the Bergen County Superintendent of Schools on March 24th. The preliminary 2021 budget presentation was posted on the district's website on March 10th. Tonight is the public hearing on the final adoption of the 2020-2021 budget. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public for comments on the final 2020-2021 budget adoption only?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Rubino, seconded by Mrs. Tuck. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions?
Aye.
All right, so if there's anyone in the public who has any questions or comments about the final budget, please state them now. We will open the floor later for other questions or comments. So right now we're opening the floor for questions or comments about the budget, specific to the budget.
And if you do have a question, feel free to go to the participants icon at the bottom of your screen and then select raise hand, and I will recognize you for comment. There are no comments, President Hans Silver, regarding the public hearing for the final adoption.
Okay. May I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion.
Okay, I think I saw motion Morel, seconded by Ramba. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right. All right. Do we have any committee reports?
So we didn't have a committee meeting, but we do have about 12 items on for policy tonight. And there's basically about 7 categories. So I just want to draw the board's attention very quickly to what they are. And most of them are mandatory, even though you have a little flexibility in verbiage, but they relate to domestic violence is the first one. We never had a regulation. Our regulation will be new. There's a policy and a regulation relating to postnatal accommodations. A staff member who is breastfeeding who comes back, the law now requires certain, privacy, private chair, close to water, and we're passing a policy that is consistent with the law, but it will, impose requirements on our district. There were some changes in an administration of medication, and that basically related to adding a couple of medications that the school nurse has primary responsibility for, glucagon and hydrocortisone sodium. And if there's anything particular, Ken, you're gonna hopefully fill in, but parents acknowledge that if this can be administered, there are limits of liability to the district. Just very perfunctory changes to our health and physical education policy, adding that we offer classes in, it was like kind of strange that it would be here, but I think it has to be in all policies, that we offer LBGT persons who have been active politically, economically, socially, contributors to society. We have to educate about them. And then there's a financial literacy component to our health and physical education policy. I said the nursing mothers. And then the last three related to like the school days, school closings, school year. I think the changes are consistent with what we do now, and they do talk about a 180-day year because that's a state's minimum. Our district over the years has negotiated a longer school year so that our students get more education, more student contact with teachers. So there are like some changes there. I think that's kind of like very high level, what the changes are. If you have like any other questions.
No.
If you have any other questions, I mean, I have some familiarity, and I think Ken and Sharon could also fill in any gaps.
Okay. Oh, Sharon, you're not muted. Sharon, you're muted.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Paula. You did a very nice job of giving that overview of the policies. And yes, the prenatal opportunities for our recent moms and the domestic violence are some new policies and enhanced policies that we've had. As far as the school year is concerned, yes, it is negotiated. However, it was recommended that we put the state mandate of at least 180 days in that policy. So I think you covered it very nicely. If anyone in the community or any board members have any further questions, they can certainly send an email out to me. They will be up for second read at the next board meeting, and we can always make adjustments if anyone has any suggestions. And with regard to the self-administration of medication, we will also include some training for our nurses so that they can support their students and parents.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you, both of you. All right, moving on. I guess we will have a motion to open the floor to, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I skipped. Do board members have questions or comments on tonight's agenda or any other topic?
I had sent Hakisha one when you first opened up the public meeting, and maybe it was apparent on the budget, but I was just curious. I know we're taking advantage of some waivers. What is the total percentage increase in this year, the budget that we're approving tonight?
Thank you, Paula, for your question. The tax levy increase year over year is 3.22%. And that's the general tax levy. The total revenue increase, and that's among all of our revenue sources: tax levy, revenue in lieu of taxes, fund balances, appropriated state aid, ex-aid, miscellaneous revenue, tuition, capital reserve withdrawal, emergency reserve withdrawal, semi-revenue, federal and state grants, debt service balances appropriated or debt fund balance, debt service aid, and debt service tax levy. The increase year over year of all of our revenue sources is 5.57%. You mentioned the waiver. Our waiver amount this year is $788,372 and is comprised only of the enrollment adjustment. There was no healthcare adjustment this year for any district in the state, primarily because the state plan had a decrease of 4%. But our year difference for the waiver is around $800,000 last year, or for the current year. We received $1,577,680 in enrollment adjustment. So those are our figures.
So all in, it's 5.7%.
5.57.
5.57?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. You froze. I don't know. Maybe my internet isn't the best, but 5.57. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now that's different from tax impact. So I'm assuming, Paula, you weren't asking me about that.
No, I understand we're allowed to go above the 2% because of our enrollment. We get like an enrollment waiver, but when you actually do all the calculations, when we get all of these other, take advantage of things that are available given the specifics of our district and how our growing enrollment and everything, we will be above the 2%.
Yes. That is correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, moving on. If there's no other questions or comments, I will ask for a motion to open the floor to the public.
Motion.
Second, Ramba.
Okay, motion by Mrs. Tuck, second by Mrs. Ramba. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or any abstentions? All right, seeing none, Board Secretary Hakisha Taylor will share how our public comment session will be conducted.
Similar to the public hearing for the final adoption of the budget for 2020-2021, there is a participant's icon at the bottom of your screen towards the middle. If you have a question, feel free to select that participant button and then select the raise hand option. I will acknowledge you at that point, lower your hand, unmute you, and share that you have the floor. So at this time, if there are questions or comments from the public, please do select raise hand. Okay, I have Mr. Jordan Sarnoff.
Thank you. My question to the board is if there is currently a plan in place for the superintendent to certify the class of 2020 on June 26th, and if diplomas will be conferred on that date.
Love the question. What a senior.
We have several plans in the works, trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen and how we're going to do this. Since the governor announced this approximately 7 hours ago, we haven't formalized any plans, but we will have a plan to award diplomas to the seniors, and obviously, as required,
Hi, Jordan.
I will certify the class as graduates.
I think
Paula, you need to. Paula, you need to.
right. I have a senior too, so I'm like, is he really going to graduate, or is he going to live with me for another year and have to wait for another year to graduate? So I love that question.
Next, we have father of Jordan Sarnoff, Mr. David Sarnoff.
How do you know that? Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, I missed the last meeting where the board passed a resolution accepting the retirement of Dr. Amato, and I really wish I could have been there at that moment, but I would like to say a couple words. And unfortunately, under the circumstances, I hope in future Dr. Amato is appropriately recognized. She's probably been one of the, if not the most dedicated member of the Fort Lee district for the past many decades. And she really played a vital role in bridging the past to the future in helping the district get to where it is today, and our achievement and our curriculum programs. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of my family for all you've done for this district, and on behalf of the community for your dedication and commitment to the district. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sarnoff. Next,
You're muted, Sharon. I didn't hear you.
I said thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that.
Miss Julene.
There's someone that can go. Hi, how are you? I wanted to ask about the 180 days that we were talking about. Sharon, is there any leeway? I know that you said that maybe now's not the time to discuss it, but I know that they had put in the 3 days a while back, and I know that a lot of people that I've spoken to were not thrilled about it. Is there a way that we can change that, or is that already like in the contract of the teachers, or can we talk about maybe just making it 180?
I will defer to Mr. Rhoda for that question.
Thank you, Dr. Amato. Yeah, Ms. Stasu, the board is presently in discussions about the end of the year calendar and unused snow days and et cetera. So there are lots of possibilities being discussed by the board. The days of requirement are contractual, as you said. The 183 days of student contact is in the contract. The state requires 180 days. So there are multiple options that the board is starting a discussion, and we'll probably make a decision very soon about what we're going to do.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to bring up was the snow days. Being that we've gone virtual now and it's going so well, can we eliminate snow days in the future? Like, and just have virtual, I mean, obviously it's something we could talk about, but when there is a snow day, can we just like, online?
We can talk about it. Personally, I'm a big fan of snow days. Just, it's always fun. But I think the issue becomes...
Right. I know. I shouldn't say this in front of my kids, but I'm just saying so we don't have to tack them on at the end in case there are.
I think the issue is that if we know there's a storm or some reason for a shutdown, whether it's a storm or other reason impending, and the students and the teachers are prepared to do online instruction, you know, that would be one thing. But if it's a spontaneous storm that no one is prepared for, then it'd be tough to maintain that online instruction if students don't have their devices at home, if teachers don't have their equipment that they need to do it. You know, we've had times when we've canceled school, whether it's for snow or other reasons, due to impending storms that were predicted. And there have been times when it was, you know, a snowstorm came up and suddenly now we can't have school the next day. So it really be a decision kind of day by day. You know, if we knew that there was a serious storm impending in the middle of the week, towards the end of the week, we could advise the students, be prepared, and the same with the staff, be prepared for, you know, a virtual day on Thursday or Friday if the weather mandates that. But if it was something that happened over the course of a weekend and everybody left on Friday thinking Monday was a regular day, and suddenly Monday ends up being a blizzard that no one was prepared for, it would be tough to conduct a virtual day. So really would have to take it day by day and see what the situation is.
Of course.
I know that's...
And one more thing, I like the fact that I like no beard, but I was expecting orange hair from you based on our last meeting.
No, that'll be a private meeting, I think, just with the PTA presidents.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Esther, there are no other public comments.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I mean, you know, with the governor's announcement today, I think, you know, the board will have more things to consider and more decisions to make upcoming in terms of days and, you know, what to do with the calendar. So thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
All right. May I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion, Ramba.
Second.
All right. Motion Ramba, second by Mrs. Richter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. Any opposed? All right. Moving on to resolutions. May I have a motion to approve item 1B?
Motion, Ramba.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Ramba, second by Mrs. Tuck.
Ms. Colback? Please unmute. Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Mr. DeMeglio?
Yes.
Ms. Marilla? Ms. Morel? Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
Yes.
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 Ms. Morel? Motion passes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think she's on a delay. Right. May I have a motion to approve item 1 CUR?
Motion Ramba.
Second, Richter.
Yes.
Ms. Colbath?
Yes.
Mr. DeMeglio?
Yes.
Yes.
Rel? Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
Yes.
Ms. Hans Silver?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. May I have a motion to approve items 1F through 3F?
Motion Ramba.
Second.
Okay. Motion Ramba, second by Mr. DeMeglio.
Ms. Colbath?
Yes.
Mr. DeMeglio?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
What's
Ms.
happening?
Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
Yes.
Ms. Hans Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Morel, you're on a delay, so just raise your hand for me when you vote, okay? Perfect. Motion passes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Holly. May I have a motion to approve items 1P through 8P?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion Rubino, second. I think that was Ramba. Oh, Richter. Sorry, it was Richter.
Somebody else. Yeah, it was it?
Ms. Colbath?
Yes.
Mr. DeMeglio?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
Oh,
Thank
she put her
you.
hand up.
Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
Yes.
Ms. Hans Silver?
Yes.
Motion passes.
May I have a motion to approve item 1POL?
Motion Colbath.
Second Ramba.
Ms. Colbath?
Yes.
Mr. DeMeglio?
Yes.
Ms. Morel? Thank you. Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
Yes.
Ms. Hans Silver?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Moving on, is there any old business?
I have one item, Ms. Hans Silver. Just to follow up on the discussion the board already started involving the calendar, I will verify some dates and numbers of days and then send the board some alternatives that were discussed earlier. I just want to verify and double check all the days and making sure we're on the right page.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then in terms of old business, I know you sent us an update, Mr. Rhoda, about the lunches that are being picked up, that it has gone up.
Yes.
So I thought maybe we'd share that with the public in terms of the middle school and the high school pickups.
Yeah, with the new middle school pickup location, we've just about, I'd say, doubled our number of student lunches being picked up on a daily basis. We're averaging about 45, I believe, a day, which is still fairly low considering the number of students and families eligible, but we are providing lunch every day. So if there are families out there who are eligible or in need, they can contact us and we can hopefully help them out.
Okay. No, that's great that we did manage to double it at least. So I'm glad there are families that are taking, advantage of this that's available to them. So thank you.
Ms. Hans Silver, I will also share that something new came down the pike from the New Jersey Department of Agriculture, I think last Friday. So families should be looking to hear from us via email blast and voicemail regarding offering lunch meals to all families. So I think because of the pandemic, the New Jersey Department of Agriculture is seeing that some families or students who would not have otherwise qualified for free and or reduced lunch perhaps might now. So effective immediately, lunches are going to be offered to all families free of charge. So look to hear a message about that probably tomorrow.
Okay,
Great.
that's great. I guess if the need does increase, would we then increase the number of sites if it was necessary? Is that something discussed with Pomptonian already?
We would have to discuss with Pomptonian because it'd be a staffing issue. And remember, you need a kitchen to
There's no
prepare
kitchens,
the
right.
food.
Right.
So the high school and the middle school are our primary kitchens. So we'd have to have a discussion with them.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think it's great if we can, increase the numbers, who are taking advantage. I think that'll be great. All right.
That might significantly ramp up our staffing needs as well.
Right. Okay. All right. Any other old business? If not, I will open the floor and ask if there's any new business.
I had one thing. Ken, we only just spoke about this, but I wondered if you had a chance to circle back to our athletic director about the esports teams.
I have not. No, I haven't heard back from Mr. Raftery.
Okay.
We just spoke about it.
Right.
I'll keep you informed though as I hear from Mike.
Okay.
And just Esther, under old business, I think back at the end of March, we approved the joint committee with the mayor. And I think like the delivery of instruction is going to be totally different come September, and busing and the way things happen. I think there's going to be like a lot of different issues. It's going to be more blended instruction. And so I would ask that you appoint that committee, and I volunteer to be on it. And I think maybe even consider appointing like an ad hoc committee. I think there's going to be a lot of work over the summer, just identifying and working with the community, the teachers, the administrators. I just think that it's going to be 6 feet apart, even come September. That's not a natural thing. It's totally different for our school district.
Mhm.
And I don't think we're going to get specific guidance from the state, because every district has different schools, different we're all just so different. And I think we really need to be in front of the curve. And so I would just ask you to consider both of those things.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate, I'll definitely talk to Ken and see, how we can start looking at things and, where we should start from, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the state can't issue a one size fits all because every district is so different. And I think we want to be delivering the high quality instruction based on our facilities and our student population, and special ed and gifted and talented and general ed. And so it's something that I think it's going to be a major undertaking by September 1 or the end of August. And so I just think those two things would be good to put in play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to support Paula in that. I think it'll be much more efficient, because now I think with the lack of a committee and reporting out to the board at large, we're probably all sending one-off emails about, what are the possibilities with, staggering the schedule, 6-day weeks. We could keep recycling. No, that won't work, because versus having a large group report out instead of Ken having to field constant questions, possibly the same questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. We'll definitely start working on that. Thank you. All right. If there's nothing else, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion, Rhonda.
We have to celebrate, say all of our great things about the teachers, everyone, Board of Ed, clap for like a minute.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yep. Wait, we're not done, Mike.
All right.
Don't go yet. All right. Motion. I think it was motion Rubino. I think it was who seconded it?
I'll second it now.
Yeah.
Second by Colbath. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you to everyone who's,
Bye, Jordan.
working. Have a good night, everyone. Stay
Good
safe.
night. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks, everybody.